Hello everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. I'm Steve, as you can tell, not in the studio again. Once again, we're doing a transfer video from my kitchen, as seems to be becoming a semi-regular-ish occurrence now. I know Paul had to do one from his house as well. Liverpool keep announcing things, or things keep breaking way outside of office hours, which isn't ideal when you've got a multi-thousand-pound purpose-built studio down the road, and yet all this stuff keeps happening when we're not in it. So yeah, listen, it is what it is. We're in my kitchen. Yeah, sound. Anyway, let's talk about Jarell Quansah and Marc Guehi. Then we'll start with Jarell Quansah. According to numerous reports, I'm going to go from David Ornstein of The Athletic with this one. Bayer Leverkusen are close to reaching an agreement with Liverpool for defender Jarell Quansah. No formal bill has been made yet. Talks are progressing for a deal to be done for just north of 40 million euros, around 34 million pounds. Personal terms are not expected to be an issue. In fact, there's plenty of reports out there that saying Quansah has already agreed those terms. Fabrizio Romano reported that, amongst others. It's been muted for a while, really, about Quansah maybe going to Leverkusen. There was initial talks that maybe he was going to be part of the deal to sign Florian Wirtz. Now we know Florian Wirtz is in Merseyside, for his medical and unveiling and all that kind of stuff. This is a completely separate deal, of course. Probably PSR reasons for that, maybe agents' fees reasons why you do it separately as well. But it looks like, obviously, the relationship between both clubs is pretty good after the Jeremy Frimpong deal, now the Florian Wirtz deal, and now it looks like Jarell Quansah. For Liverpool to sell a young player then, this time last year we were all expecting Jarell Quansah to have a really successful first season. He started said season as the manager's first choice. Obviously, Ibu Konate, Virgil van Dijk both spent time away on international duty. Quansah was about for the whole pre-season. I remember being in America, having a very brief chat with them there. He played pretty much all the games. He was almost like the mainstay, the leader of that central defensive unit. It was a lot of young lads or players who potentially were going to move on, or who indeed did move on as well. So he starts that first game of the season. It looks like it's his share to lose, and it seems like he didn't. Well, he lost it within 45 minutes. Really, Liam Delap had a bit of a go at him. Arne Slot wasn't best pleased. Ibu Konate comes in, keeps the share, played very, very well. Even when there was an injury to Konate, it wasn't Quansah who then come back into the team. It was Joe Gomez who got the nod for an extended run. And it was only really when he got injured that we started seeing a bit more of Quansah, obviously other than in like League Cup games and stuff. And then we need a right back, and Jarell Quansah has to go and do right back. So it was a very mixed year at best for Jarell Quansah. He had a very good first season in the Liverpool first team in and around it, and a pretty average one. And it looks like, for whatever reason, Arne Slot just didn't fancy him. So personally, I think it might be premature to sell him, if truth be told, but the fact is, if the manager's not going to pick a player, he's got no intentions and he wants an upgrade or a different player, and we're going to speak about that in a moment, then I suppose it makes sense. Obviously, Quansah is keen to make the move. It looks like the terms are all agreed, so obviously he maybe has been told what the plans are in Leverkusen. They are desperate for centre defenders. They've lost a couple, including, of course, Jonathan Tah to Bayern Munich, so maybe he's going to go there and be first choice and have a really successful time of it. I was a big fan of him the first time I saw him, really, for a few weeks. I think most of us were. And I know I put on Twitter earlier, like, I wouldn't be selling him. And a lot of people disagreed. They were quite happy for him to go. And, you know, some were actually quite disparaging, if I'm honest, like saying he's rubbish and things like that. I think maybe it's a bit too early, a bit too premature to cut your losses. Maybe Liverpool can do some type of buyback thing that hasn't been reported yet, but I wouldn't mind that if it was the case. But yeah, it looks like the decision's been made. They're going to sell Jarell Quansah. They're going to get a big fee for him. Obviously, it's pure profit as well in terms of the PSR accountancy side of stuff, which is dead boring, but it's actually dead important as well now in modern football. We all have to have our checks and balances. We all have to have a little bit of an accountancy background or degree or knowledge to be some football supporters, it seems like. The fact that he's a young player, he's been at Liverpool pretty much his entire life. So obviously pure profit when you sell academy players. PSR rewards that, which is mad. It's one of the downfalls, I think, of PSR, that you're almost encouraged to sell the players that you develop rather than the players you've bought. It's yeah, crazy. But anyway, it is what it is. But the manager looks like he's made the decision. Obviously, Richie Hughes, Michael Edwards, etc. agree. It's a good fee. I said personally, like I say, I wouldn't be selling him. I would have liked to have kept him for one more year. But if you are going to sell him, you can't really quibble with the £34 million for a guy who, again, found himself very, very quickly fourth in the pecking order, and ultimately the managers didn't really trust. So I suppose financially it's a good deal. Liverpool are going to have to, of course, go into the market. I will touch on Marc Guehi and the reported suggesting that Liverpool are going to bid for him in a moment. Before I do, it's worth mentioning Joe Gomez in this situation and what this means for his future. Is he now going to stay? Because it was kind of half expected that he might leave. Again, he nearly left last summer, didn't. In the end, ended up going to Newcastle. Obviously, when the Anthony Gordon, PSR stuff all fell through, but Joe Gomez was reportedly going to be part of that. He missed that first game of the season at Ipswich, remember, he wasn't even on the bench, and it was reported it was because he was probably going to make a move away, and for whatever reason, that didn't happen. Does that now mean he's staying, or are Liverpool going to sell him and sign 2 centre-backs? Don't know. The options are there, of course. There's been plenty of links. But yeah, that's the outgoing / Liverpool side of it. In terms of potential incomings then, Chris Bascom in the Telegraph, while writing about Jarell Quansah, wrote, Liverpool are expected to make a significant offer, quote, for Crystal Palace defender Marc Guehi, having moved swiftly to raise the funds with the sale of Jarell Quansah to Bayer Leverkusen. So I don't know if this means Liverpool were desperate to sign Marc Guehi and they thought the only way to facilitate that was selling Jarell Quansah, or it was they wanted to move away from Jarell Quansah and have found Marc Guehi as the ideal replacement. Maybe it's somewhere in the middle. He's probably younger than most people think. He's only 24, he turns 25 in a couple of weeks, born in the year 2000, July 2000s. He's been around a long time, it's fair to say. Obviously, England international, was a mainstay of that England team that did relatively well, pretty well actually, to get to the final in the last major tournament. Obviously, he was a mainstay in that side all the way up to that final. He's been an excellent defender for Crystal Palace. 1 year left on his contract, was linked with moves away and all that kind of stuff in the past. Nearly joined Newcastle, didn't. It'll be interesting to see the type of fee that Crystal Palace would want. I'm guessing he might be for sale, given the fact, like I say, that final year of his contract. Is he happy to come in and battle for a shirt? Obviously, Van Dijk and Konate are here. It's not going to be easy to break into that side. I think he's a good footballer. I think he's decent. He's not massive. I wonder if that matters per se. Usually, Liverpool have tended to sign more recently, bigger defenders. Now he is only 6 foot. I say only 6 foot. I'm 6 foot. I wouldn't class myself as short, but in relative terms, I have stood next to Virgil van Dijk and Ibu Konate. They are much bigger than me. It's fair to say. So I wonder, obviously, maybe a change of tact, a change of maybe target, which can happen, of course, when a new manager comes in, a new regime comes in. Maybe they don't see quite the significance. Again, it will be interesting to see what the kind of fee is, but if Liverpool can get, like I say, that £34 million for Jarell Quansah and then put that money towards maybe Marc Guehi. For what it's worth, Sam Wallace said Tottenham offered £55 million plus 15 million add-ons in January. Obviously, a bit different now, maybe a little bit down the line, but that's the type of money you might be talking about. You might be looking at around the £50-60 million mark, which is, again, is a significant outlay, no doubt about it. It will, of course, be helped by the fact that you're going to sell Jarell Quansah, but it's not going to be cheap to get Marc Guehi. It looks like he is the man that they're going to go for. I like him. Don't love it, if I'm honest. Is he better than Jarell Quansah right now? Yes. Obviously, he is a little bit older. Is the ceiling quite as high? If you'd have asked me 12 months ago, probably might have said no. If you ask me now, probably yes. It depends how much stock you put into Jarell Quansah's good year compared to Jarell Quansah's bad year, I suppose. It'd be interesting. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Obviously, you guys are on YouTube watching, let me know in the comments section. Those of you who are listening to me as a podcast right now from your kitchen, you can feel free to get in touch on social media. All the usual channels, just search for the Redmen TV. You'll have us boxed off there. Let me know your thoughts. How much better is Marc Guehi than Jarell Quansah right now? Is he always going to be better? Is there room for Quansah to catch you up? Probably not, I would say. Like it's probably, again, if you look in the international pecking order, Guehi was above Jarell Quansah. Doesn't mean everything, of course. Sometimes international managers make mistakes, but I think we'd all agree. So yeah, it looks like then Quansah is on his way out. That looks almost certain now, given how strongly that's being reported. It feels like it's a matter of when, not if. Now, can Liverpool get the Guehi deal over the line? Is it how much it's going to cost? Or how much are they willing to pay? My guess is they will have known all this anyway, so this probably isn't new to them. They will have known what it was going to cost, wage demands, players, interest, and all that kind of good stuff. So it looks like, another position where Arne Slot decided, you know what, he is ruthless. You're not for me, you're going, see you later, I'm going to bring somebody else in. He won the league with Jurgen Klopp's squad, and now he's very much trying to build a squad of his own. There's going to be plenty of change. It looks like more change, actually, than I anticipated. It feels like I thought maybe there's going to be the odd tweak here and there. It's not going to be the case at all. You know, the full-backs both look like they're changing. The sub-goalie's already changed. You've got, obviously, Florian Wirtz is coming in, and he's going to play. So there's a change in midfield. We're all expecting a change at the number 9 position as well. We're all expecting Darwin Núñez to go and a new striker to come in. Loads of Isak talk, loads of Ekatike talk and all that. So it is going to be a lot of significant changes. You mentioned, again, in terms of outgoings, Chiesa looks like he's off, Harvey Elliott. I'm just talking about Jarell Quansah now. They've already lost Alexander-Arnold. They've already lost Kevin Keller. It looks like Andy Robertson could be on his way out. It is a big change. It feels like a very football manager change of type of summer, really. It's exciting. Is it going to pay dividends? Only time will tell. Who knows? What I would say is it looks like Liverpool are signing pretty good players. I am a Guehi fan. I think he's a good player. I don't think he's quite the excitement level I've got about Florian Wirtz, Jeremy Frimpong, and even Milos Kerkez. And of course, if it was Alexander Isak, he might be more exciting than most of those. Not as much as Wirtz, I would say, but very, very close, maybe equal footing. So yeah, exciting times for Liverpool. Listen, it's a very un-Liverpool summer. Is that because it's a new manager? Is it because they're building from a position of strength? Have they just saved all their dough up last year and then they're splashing the cash now? For whatever reason, they are very, very active in this market, wheeling and deal, ins and out. So yeah, again, let me know your thoughts, guys. YouTube, whether you're watching, again, if you're listening, please do get your thoughts in on social media, however you want to get in touch with us. We'd love to know your thoughts on this story. But yes, it looks like we've already had Alexander-Arnold out, Frimpong in, Kelleher out, Mamardashvili in, Wirtz in, looks like probably in place of Harvey Elliott, and now it looks like Jarell Quansah out, Marc Guehi in. It's a very, very exciting, busy time to be a Liverpool supporter, hence why we keep having to do videos from our houses. Liverpool, if any of you are watching, if you fancy breaking this between 9 and 5 on a Monday to Friday over the next few weeks, that would be superb, please. I mean, as much as I love to watch people in my kitchen, it feels like a waste of time to build a purpose-built studio full of cameras, lights, microphones, and then have to do it on a stand, phone, laptop, ring light. Anyway, it's absolutely fine. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks very much for listening. Catch you all next time, guys.